And now, very appropriately, it's over to our future leaders' perspective and a presentation from them.
Thank you, Carmen. Good afternoon, everyone. I would like to also acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land that we meet on today, the Kaurna people. We are here to present to you on behalf of the group who met on Monday for the Future Leaders Forum, the Young Professionals in the Park Industry. I would like to thank all the participants who came on Monday and invite them to stand up so they can be embarrassed like we are. Can you all please stand? I'd also just like to introduce my fellow young professionals behind me. Steve Pellin from Parks Victoria, Susan Crescetti from New South Wales Parks and Wildlife, Gemma Cunningham from Department of Environment and Natural Resources, Michelle Fry from Opus International, and I'm Liz from Department of Environment and Natural Resources. Today we're just going to cover four sort of areas. We haven't had a lot of time. We met on Monday and we've been very busy with the conference since then. I'm going to give you a bit of background to the Future Leaders Forum, the inception of where the whole Generate network has come from and how that links in with the Future Leaders Forum, a little bit about Monday, the 2012 Future Leader Forum and some of the key outcomes and discussions we had, and also where to from here. So I'd like to hand over to Steve.
Thank you, Liz. The Future Leaders concept was first introduced to this group in 2006 in Melbourne as a one-day conference dedicated to Parks Forum members. It's now held the day before the main Parks Forum conference every 2 years. It's an important opportunity for future leaders in our industry to network, be inspired, and share our thoughts on industry issues. I was part of the Sydney 2010 Future Leaders program, and an outcome of that forum was that future leaders play a bigger role within Parks Forum. Future leaders from the Sydney Forum helped deliver the 2012 conference. The future leaders also wanted to stay connected via a network as the next generation of industry managers. In June 2011, DOC, NZRA and Parks Forum held a Young Leaders Forum called Generate in Wellington. At the Hui, young leaders were re-energised to develop a network for our industry, and here we are.
Thanks, Steve. Okay, thank you. At the Hui in March 2011, we had the opportunity to voice our issues facing young people in the profession. Issues, ideas and opportunities. We then canvassed the idea of a new network and we undertook a SWOT analysis, so that was looking at the strengths, opportunities, weaknesses and threats. We then discussed the merits of establishing a new network versus other options, and we found that to be really important because there were a lot of questions and concerns about whether we were just duplicating what was already existing. After 2 days, it was agreed that we would establish an Australasian network with a membership of 25 attendees from the Generate Hui, with 10 of those attendees establishing a steering group. We then established a purpose, and the purpose of the network was to provide a collective voice, evoking change and supporting development opportunities for those working in the environmental and recreation sector. That purpose was established through a lot of dialogue at the Hui, and we felt that it reflected the range of issues that were raised by the attendees at the Hui. So a collective voice, so we felt that there was an absence of a collective voice in the sector. We felt that there was a collective inability to evoke change, and there was very little in the form of development opportunities for those working in the sector. So in order to set about becoming a successful network, we undertook a number of steps. One of the big steps that we've taken over the past year has been to establish a business plan. We felt that that was a very important step towards having a structure and some direction in terms of where we're heading in the future. We also decided that it was important that we established a regular steering group committee and that we met on a regular basis to talk about our focus and our ambitions looking forward. And to date, we've been meeting, or teleconferencing, given that we're all from Australia and New Zealand. Regularly, we've been meeting monthly to talk about the various issues and objectives that we're seeking to achieve. We've also established a Facebook website and almost an online forum where we envisage that the network members will be able to network further and take their ideas and issues into the future. And the whole focus for this Generate network is to foster and encourage that enthusiasm to develop their own, the individual's own outcomes, undertake regional catch-ups and make sure that we're sharing and expressing our fresh ideas. So we see it happening. It's all starting to become an evolving process. People are starting to talk and get their new networks together, and that's what we really want to see. That is the purpose of a network after all. So as a next step, we've had the Future Leaders Forum on Monday, and it looks to be taking Generate to a whole new level. And Susan's here to talk about what we did on Monday.
Hi everyone. Well, on Monday, a fabulous group of 23 bright-eyed and bushy-tailed future leaders from Australia and New Zealand met. And after we had the formalities and the purpose was discussed, we had Penny Figures address us, and I'm sure you could have heard a pin drop without a single beep of a phone, no Facebook account logins. Everyone was captivated by what she was saying. We were then challenged and inspired by a panel discussion, and that was fabulous, and everybody walked away with pages of key take-home messages, such as welcoming people, how important it is to welcome people to parks. People have to know about it, to care about it. As the world around us changes so rapidly, it's good to keep your eyes and ears open and learn widely and travel extensively to understand as much as you can to help broaden your perspectives. That the heart often wins over emotions, and you can't always rely on the facts to win your arguments. To keep you cool, and I think most of us had an aha moment when Alan questioned how we managed our networks, and I'm sure most of us have started putting pen to paper, writing down the professional relationships that we need to manage to be more effective at our jobs now and into the future. We captured lots of ideas, and those will all be on the Generate section of the Parks Forum website, and I invite you all to have a look at some of the ideas that we'd come up with during the day. The future leaders then challenged themselves to write a tweet, being new age, about how as a group of young professionals we're making a difference. And we were helped by Enrique in the room, and here's some of the ones we came up with. Young people are a bushfire, bringing change, growth and regeneration. Burning bright with passion, they need little fuel to provoke positive change. Bringing the future, we innovate, stimulate, activate, collaborate and create. We challenge the old and bring in the new. We bring energy, technology, delivery. The future leaders. Young people will connect with different parts of the community to enable relevant and sustainable community connections to their environment. What the fuck? We are flexible, enthusiastic, relevant, current, and are the organisation's future. Ooh. So, where to from here? I'll pass it over to Gemma.
So where to from here? The future leaders that you've been introduced to today came up with a number of fundamental objectives, and I'm just going to run through some of those. I mean, you can all read, but just flesh them out a little bit more. So retain and increase membership. We must keep the momentum going. That's really important. But these young professionals also, and others, also need a place to go across boundaries or beyond boundaries. Networking opportunities. We all need networking opportunities to talk to each other, but it's all about communicating our concerns and issues and innovative ideas as well. Offer our network as a brains trust. So this is, help us to explore your ideas. So we're here to learn from you and help us to help you. That's what that's about. Encourage young professionals to step up, so supporting mentoring opportunities, but also we would like managers to actively encourage and empower young professionals to have a voice. Maintain and enhance Future Leader Forum opportunities. We really believe in Future Leader Forums, and we hope that you do too. This is just one tool in which enables us to get together, and also up and coming future leaders and young professionals to get together every 2 years. So here are just some of the ideas that the future leaders came up with on Monday, and they're not necessarily new or innovative, but we would really like to explore them, and these topics are what we think really matter to us. So it's about mentoring. I just mentioned mentoring before, but scoop up one of your staff, take them under your wing, because they do need you. We've heard a lot over the last couple of days about children and how they're not connecting with the environment, they're not engaged with parks. So selling the profession we love to the children of today. So this is starting at the grassroots and really encouraging kids to be involved and actually showing them that this industry is fun, it's cool. Because what sort of hope have we got if kids aren't engaged in the environment now? Future generations are not going to be in the profession that we're all in today. And this is more of a question around how do we get young professionals interested? And Susan's just going to come in. Susan's got some ideas as well.
So, yeah, obviously we want to continue the work of Generate, so we need a representative from each state, and it was a bit sad that we didn't have some of our other state colleagues to join us on Monday. To maybe generate a sponsored award for a Mentor of the Year, someone that we think is really helping us to go forwards, and also a Young Professional of the Year. And finally, this idea was brought about from listening to all of the talks over the last few days, and it was stimulated partly by what Michael Lunig was talking about, that, you know, perhaps next Australia Day or a similar day in New Zealand, we could have a sleep on country, and it might be on the eve of Australia Day night, and it's a national celebration. So you can picture a suburban park in a Sydney, in a city somewhere, where you have rangers, astronomers, NGOs, conservation groups, elders, children, parents, grandparents, in swags and tents. It could even be in a primary school ground. And they're celebrating nature, you know, they're looking at the real Southern Cross, not a tattoo on somebody's neck. The smells, you know, exposed to the elements for the night. And I think that that's part of what this conference is about, is it's taking parks beyond their boundary. Back to Gemma.
So we don't know everything. We don't have all the answers, you know that, we know that. But we would really like to invite you to join us on this exciting journey towards leadership and being a leader. So these are just some of the key messages that we want you to take away. So on behalf of all the future leaders that are standing behind me and are sitting down today, we have a few people to thank. And firstly, we'd like to thank Parks Forum, and in particular Dave Clark, for all his support with the Future Leaders Forum and guidance there. I'd also like to thank DENA, NZRA, the Department of Conservation, and the peer review support, which David Clark sat on, Andrew Leslie, Kevin O'Connor, and Mace Ward. And lastly, to the current leaders that are sitting in this room today and who are not as well, but who actually gave up their time on Monday to come to the Future Leaders Forum and provide lots of advice through panel discussions, through keynote speakers and alike. So that's Alan Holmes, John Schutz, Greg Lehman, Penny Figures, Enrique Penalosa, and of course David Clark. The future leaders you saw in the crowd today, they did stand up. Please go and talk to them, let them share their ideas with you, and give them encouragement and empower them to become future leaders and leaders in this industry. Thank you.
So, questions?
My name is Graham Warboys, and I have a privilege of being involved in the generation of a new book to assist young professionals in their career development and older professionals. It's to be produced for the World Parks Congress in late 2014, and we are just generating the thinking on what should be in that book. So it's a vocational-based ebook. We hope to sell it at about $3 per copy, and in other words, to make it very available for everyone. I would like the Brains Trust to assist me, seeing you throughout the challenge, in what should be in the content of that book. Are you interested? That's my question.
I've been pushed forward. Thanks for that opportunity, Graham. I think we could probably all say in a united voice, absolutely. If we can get your email address or how we can contact you, we'd love an opportunity like that to put some of our ideas forward, and thank you for that opportunity.
Any other questions? Maybe if I can be cheeky and ask one. It's fantastic what you've been doing, and I know that I speak for everyone in this audience to say how encouraging it is to know that there's a generation who are prepared to think strategically, not just to be there and wait for it to be handed to them. I guess one of the questions that always occurs to me when young leaders and young people are seeking to change the world that their current elders and some would believe betters have created for them is, what sorts of barriers are you finding in getting your voice heard? Because that's important to remove as well. Anyone want to comment on that?
I can probably directly refer you to our business plan because we've listed a number of them. But there is, from the Hui back in 2011, there were a number of key themes, and as I mentioned through our purpose, that collective voice, we felt that the hurdle was that we were isolated as a profession. Personally, before the Hui in 2011, I felt that currently, I'm a strategic planner or an environmental planner, very passionate about conservation, recreation and the environment. I felt that I neither fitted within our New Zealand Planning Institute framework, and I didn't really fit within the recreation planning framework either. I sort of felt like I was a little bit in between. So this Generate network has really provided me with that connection that I really feel I'm a part of. So that's one of them. The evoking change, that inability to be heard as a voice. You can be an individual, but if you're a collective, I think there's that power behind you and the support structure. And also the development opportunities. I think that that's something that was very came through very strongly. We felt that it was very much in isolation. There was the odd opportunity here and there to develop your profession as a conservation or an environmentalist or that parks sort of perspective, but there was no real framework and no real way forward. So we felt that for us to be able to assist to tell people what we want as young professionals moving forward was really important. So the key themes.
Yes, please add. Yes.
The last bit that I'd add to that, and I think Liz wants to add something to it as well, is that we're not afraid of hard work. We're not asking for everything on a silver platter. We are keen, we're motivated, and we want the opportunities to show you guys what we can do. So although there are barriers out there, and although there are some opportunities that do come our way, as a group we would like more of those opportunities, and we know that we're going to have to put the hard yards in. We know it's not an easy thing to do, but we're prepared to do it.
You're happy? That covers it? Yeah. All right, any further questions? Sorry, yes?
Yeah, look, I'm keen to know what's the one or two things that the Parks Forum could do for you. So if you were David Clark or me chairing the forum, what is it that we could do to make it work better?
Okay, so that's a really interesting question, and I've had it posed to me in a different frame before. We've had a really good think about what our managers and our seniors can do for us, and I think probably the most important one is that you support us to develop this network and to have our ideas and to take that forward, I guess, essentially. Yeah, do you want to?
And although it's simplistic, Alan, I think the Parks Forum also offers us an opportunity to just sort of get a little bit out behind our computer and sort of think about things a little more broadly. I mean, even for us across here, we've got 4 different departments and we had a whole range of people on Monday, and that's really valuable. We just don't get that exposure when you sit at a desk all day, and we're getting more and more like that. So it's really invaluable for us, just that exposure.
Well, on your behalf, thank you very much indeed. Thank you for taking the time to lay out your vision for us, and all the best, all the very best indeed. Thank you.